King Ghidorah, the false titan from across the universe, and Mechagodzilla, the cybernetic counterpart to the king of the monsters himself. A common debate has these two pinned against each other, and an overwhelming amount say Ghidorah would win in a fight, which, as you may have guessed, I disagree with. Now, before we get any further, I want to reaffirm. I will be saying how Mechagodzilla could beat King Ghidorah in a fight, not kill him. These two things are very different. Mecha would die since he has no regen, while MZ has some of the best regen we've ever seen on screen. Now I'm not going to keep you waiting. Let's get into why I think Mechagodzilla would win against King Ghidorah. There will be two parts to this. Firstly, how he could win, and secondly, discrediting some reasons King Ghidorah would win. Now, as the title promised, why Mechagodzilla would beat King Ghidorah. Firstly, his fighting skills and knowledge he has over King Ghidorah. Mechagodzilla in this fight would have some insane starting advantage over Ghidorah. That being that Mechagodzilla knows King Ghidorah's fighting style and weaknesses, thanks to the fact that Mechagodzilla literally is Ghidorah. Look at it like this. You have two MMA fighters in a ring. The first one is an S-tier fighter. That's it. And the second one is also an S-tier fighter, but he knows how the other one fights. He also knows the other fighter's weaknesses and how to counter his fighting style. So it's pretty clear based on that. The second fighter has an insane advantage. So at the start of this fight, Mecha will know literally everything about Ghidorah, knowing how he would first strike, any attack patterns of his, and any weaknesses he could exploit. Mecha would have a huge starting advantage. And this is further boosted by his insane mobility and agility on the battlefield, being able to blitz Ghidorah and get around him in seconds. And as we see in GVK, thanks to his jet boosters, a synthesized Hollow Earth energy, and his Roto Claws, he was able to punch Godzilla to the ground and drag him around like he was a feather, a feat that Ghidorah has yet to match. He is also more durable than Ghidorah, being made of titanium, which for reference takes 63,000 psi to break. We'll cover more on his durability in just a moment. Also, Mechagodzilla will be able to distract Ghidorah thanks to his drones and missiles. Now, if you didn't know, in the PUBG live event, Mecha deployed many drones from his back. Now, this isn't canon to the Monsterverse, but it's reasonable to assume that he may have these weapons in verse. And as we've seen in Godzilla King of the Monsters, though Ghidorah wasn't damaged at all, he does find bullets mildly annoying. So imagine the guns on these drones. They're much larger and would definitely be more of a burden. And now, also like I said, his missiles. Mecha can shoot many missiles from his chest, shoulders, and back, which as we see, were even able to slightly injure Godzilla. So now reimagine this fight. Mecha off the bat already has an advantage, knowing how King Ghidorah fights, but now he deploys tens of drones and hundreds of rockets at Ghidorah, being able to distract him for a little bit, and by the time Ghidorah is focused back on Mechagodzilla, he could already have a beam ready to fire, or start wailing on Ghidorah. Now onto the disproving some Ghidorah claims. Stay mad, MZ stands. Looking at you, FDA. Firstly, Mecha is more durable. We can back this up by looking at what it took to rip apart King Ghidorah, which as we see in Godzilla King of the Monsters, Godzilla had to bite into Ghidorah to pierce his skin. Now look at what Mecha took, which was Godzilla's dorsal plate. It's reasonable to assume that his dorsal plates are equal to the durability of his claws and teeth, or maybe even more durable, given that they were intact when Godzilla fell from the stratosphere. And as we see in GVK, Kong's axe, when not charged, could even pierce Mechagodzilla. Another thing Monster Zero stands say a lot is, well, it took a 50% beam to cut through him. Well, that beam was condensed into a very fine and sharp point. Take it like this. If you get a boot and hit someone in the head with full force, it will knock them out, but it won't penetrate their skull. Now take the end of a high heel and do the same. It would penetrate the skull pretty easily, due to the fact that it's the same amount of energy concentrated into a small point. Or to simplify, surface area. Well, he could drop him. No, he couldn't. As we see, MZ had to really flap his wings really hard to pick up Godzilla, who was almost 100,000 tons, while Mechagodzilla is over 6 times heavier. Ghidorah is not getting him into the air. Well, Ghidorah tanked Thermo's blast. Yeah, the same blast that couldn't destroy a building. And finally, his physical strength. Sure, Ghidorah was pushing around Godzilla, but Mecha was clowning on him, literally dragging him through the city. And the whole Godzilla being tired has nothing to do with that. Mechagodzilla was able to move Godzilla easier than Ghidorah was, making him physically stronger. So to conclude, could Mecha kill Monster Zero? Probably not, just due to Ghidorah's regen. But could he beat him? Absolutely. Leave some video ideas in the comments, and make sure to join my Discord server. It's always linked in the description. As always, everybody, keep collecting. Godzilla Guy out. See ya.